All right, my name is Aaron Rhodes, and you're listening to the Shuttlecock podcast. We're sponsored by the Vinyl Underground at 7th Heaven, offering new and used vinyl at 76th and Troost in Kansas City, Missouri. This week on the show, we have Shaun Crowley. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Aaron?
I couldn't be better.
Good.
I mean, you can always be better, but I couldn't be better.
Then I worry about your limits of how good you can be.
Who's to say, really? Who's to say? But yeah, what do you, man? I feel like it's overdue that you be on the show. You're a busy guy, so
thank you. No, and I appreciate you having me. It's I've been wanting to come talk to you for a while, so this is good.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure we'll get some hot takes off at some point.
Yeah,
and,
no, I got to warm up a little bit. I'm not used to this whole mic situation, so
you'll get there.
I will.
But yeah, if anyone is not familiar with what you do, you play in Mama's Boy.
Yeah.
It's a rock band from Kansas City, Missouri.
A rock band.
A rock band.
Hell yeah.
Do you not often refer to yourselves as a rock band?
That's just probably the most accurate because I think the genre of rock has gotten too many titles to it. So that's good. Thank you.
Indie pop psych surf, rock,
dear Lord,
it's a rock band,
it's
bro.
exhausting sometimes to figure out exactly what genre you really are. But also, if you really are one genre, I don't think you're doing it right, in my opinion. So it's fun to do other stuff, but not saying that Mama's Boy goes all over the charts. But yeah, we're a rock band.
Yeah, variety, the spice of life, you know.
Yeah. We're actually trying to probably be a little less rocky, so that we're taking some different vibes these days.
I'll call you a pop band next time.
Yeah, we're relaxing. Maybe even an R&B band.
Ooh.
If we're lucky.
In the sense of British R&B, or
I didn't even know there was a sense of British R&B. I don't know.
No, that's what they were that's what they were calling the Rolling Stones and a lot of early British rock bands.
No, that's what I dig for real.
Because it is rhythm and blues before I think the term rock was really popularized in the mainstream. I might be wrong, but
I believe it. I took a history class once on that stuff, and I don't know.
And look where you are now.
Yeah, I'm here. But yeah, no, that's so I've been doing that, and
yeah. When did Mama's Boy first start?
I think maybe 4 years ago, and but we've been with this lineup for I actually have no idea if my timeline's right. 2.5 years with me and Quinn Hernandez and Peter Beatty and Jared Bechkowski. But yeah, so it's been going for a while now.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I never have really talked to you about what is the songwriting process really like between the four of you guys? Who's kind of handling what aspects of it? You're playing guitar and singing on a lot of songs.
Yeah, and that's where we do mix it up. We have if you wrote the song, you're probably singing it. So me and Jared and Peter actually all basically sing whatever songs we write, and we try to. Once we started realizing that was going to be a thing, because when we started, it was really just me and Peter had some songs, and we wanted to play them, and we didn't want to make the other person. We didn't want to choose a lead singer because we were in a previous band where we had a lead singer, and we all kind of wanted to start writing our own music and use one outlet for it, and that's what really pushed us to start Mama's Boy.
Was that with Rev Gusto?
Yeah. So me and Peter and Quinn were all in that group, and then now it's turned into a steady rotation of us giving each other turns of hey, do you have anything to bring to the table? And then we kind of usually just have an outline and go from there. Jared has kind of amplified that because he comes from a little bit different writing perspective than what me and Peter and Quinn kind of got used to. Being in Rev, and it was good for us because it's a little bit more paying attention to little details, and I think we've always kind of needed that. So,
no, yeah, I always do kind of it is interesting hearing about when bands will have kind of a more democratic approach to the songwriting and performing, and others are definitely they work because sometimes it is like one person kind of like calling the shots.
No, and I think there's both. There's ways to do both right, I think, and I don't know. It's always felt good doing it this way with Mama's Boy. So, but yeah, no.
Had you all first met like playing in Rev Gusto, or had you known each other previously?
Well, me and Quinn and Peter all went to high school together. So, me and Peter were in the same grade and played in band. We all played in high school band together. And then,
what were you playing in high school band?
What did I play?
Yeah.
Well, there was 8. So the first year of my freshman year of high school was the first year my high school had a band department. So there was 8 guitar players, 8 drummers, and like 3 horns. And so I switched from guitar to trumpet. And yeah, because there was just too many guitar players. But
can we expect some trumpet on the next Mama's Boy release?
Probably not. I don't like playing it. It's not a fun instrument to necessarily play. We did a track in our attic called "Asleep on the Floor" last year. Is that last year? Maybe it was this year. And it did feature. I did pull the trumpet out for the outro of it,
nice.
And I was exhausted by the last track of that. So, I don't really play trumpet. I just know how one goes about playing trumpet. So, I guess. But yeah. So me and Peter and Quinn have now known each other for over like 10 years. So it's been a good run.
Oh, yeah, and you think? Yeah, I'm sure at this point the chemistry for just playing together is probably
it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. And it's same with Jared. Even though we didn't know Jared before he joined the band, and Dream Girl actually recommended we try him out, and he's just been an ideal fit in like every way, like musically and personality wise, which is we were really worried about. So because we all know each other for so long, but that's been a really cool thing. So, and he kind of like made us want to do it a little bit more legit. Because we were just kind of playing like random 3-piece nights at Replay and like kind of just doing it whenever we felt like it. And he's like, "No, let's do it." And we were like, "Heck yeah!" So,
no, I remember like I don't even know. Like I think I just ran into you at one point like a year or so ago, and I was like, "Oh, dude, what are you up to?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, it's weird. We just got the band credit card. We got the." I'm like, "Oh, that's exciting."
Yeah, no, that's we got really official with it. We bought a van, like we paid monthly payments on a band van, and we've been able to go to like 25 cities that we've never played at in the last 2 years now, and like I don't know, it feels good to have it be a little bit more legit because it's just a lot more transparent. Like you know what's going on with everything. There's no like gray area of like I don't know. We actually do treat the band as a business at a lot of points because that's the only way you can really like make it a thing technically. But yeah, so that's. Yeah, it was cool to have a Mama's Boy. I actually am about to get a Manor Records one because I just got that set up. So I have all these credit cards and bank cards and all that stuff.
Identity thieves, if you need to reach Shaun, just hit me up. I know where to find him.
Apparently, actually, Peter is master of coin now in Mama's Boy. We've officially changed hands. Yeah, so that's been good. He's taken over that responsibility.
So you're already playing guitar by the time you get to high school, and you have the high school band and everything. But when did you first really pick up playing music?
When I was a freshman in high school is when I started like taking guitar lessons.
Okay.
And that's when I was like 13 or 14 is when I started doing anything musical. But senior year of high school was when me and Peter joined Rev Gusto, and that's when the whole like band thing became a thing. Yeah.
So had you not really had much experience like in the music scene until that point, really?
With like yes, yeah. My only experience was every Saturday my dad would take me to Knuckleheads and I would go do like a blues jam with a bunch of random old guys every Saturday. But I mean that's like that probably taught me more than a lot of things could because of just like being able to go and play with anybody is a good skill to have. Yeah. So, that was fun.
Oh, to be a knucklehead's dad, that sounds great too.
Oh yeah, that's it's a perfect spot for dads. Any dads, go take your aspiring 13-year-old son that wants to be the next Stevie Ray Vaughan there, and you both will have a great time. So.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah. Just like I mean, people like people who like are parents or like that age, like they no matter what they'll like enjoy seeing a kid play like blues and rock music and stuff. So
yeah,
can't really go wrong.
No, they are. It was cool because they were all super supportive back then. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, so that's like now when I go back, I'm like 24, and I'm like, they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Still playing music," and they're like, "Good," but I don't make it down there as much as I honestly would like to. But I don't really play blues anymore, but it's still just like fun, So
you'll have to get a Mama's Boy Knuckleheads gig at some point, right?
Oh, dude, we did once. We did a jam. No, that was Rev Gusto. But it was so funny because we did 2 songs that were just not blues, and it was awkward. So
nice. What stage did you play on?
I've played on both.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I have no. It's just I've never done the garage, but I love that garage. It's sweet.
Oh yeah, like as like kind of isolated as the area is, like once you're there, like you're like, wow, there are like 5 stages and there's a lot of stuff going on.
I think Frank from there's really got a lot, like best kept secret, and probably one of the best venues in Kansas City, if not top notch, like unique best venue. But being a little biased there.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, maybe when I'm just like completely burnt out on like the local music scene or whatever, like I'm in my 30s, 40s, 50s, whenever that happens.
You're gonna be burnt out by 30?
Hopefully not. I don't know. At this rate, no. No, but I'm like that's like a good like low pressure hangout.
Oh yeah.
Still seeing music,
hide in the
chilling,
back,
yeah,
smoke a cigarette. Well, you have asthma.
We discussed this.
We just talked about that.
But just seems like a good hang.
That's where I'll end up, for sure.
where Midtown rockers go to retire.
Yeah, it's a circle of life. I'm down with that.
But yeah, so Mama's Boy did release its first EP like a couple years ago now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did Liquid Courage back in, I think, early 2017. And then we've kind of just done some like single series stuff since then. But yeah.
Oh yeah, what kind of like, what would you say like most inspired like the work that you guys did on the first EP, and like what kind of was the path towards releasing that?
I think the first EP was right now it feels like a long time ago, and it feels like us trying to write songs for the first time almost in a way. Because it's basically a lot of just like 3-chord songs, rock and roll, not like too overthought of music. And it was our first time really doing it on our own, so that was kind of like we didn't have an idea, and we had Quinn's brother play bass for a few tracks, and then we met Jared in the middle of that, so it was kind of like a transition. But then after that, we started writing like as that group with Jared, and I think you can hear the difference with that. But with the music we put out after the EP, but yeah, no, that EP's got a nice place in my heart. So
how would you describe like the evolution like musically that's happened between like the EP and like where you're at now with the singles and everything?
I think we've definitely kind of thought more. We were definitely more just like garage rock-y type stuff, and like the surf rock was definitely stuff we were going for with that first EP. And now we definitely have a little bit different taste, and that's where I feel like we're maturing a little bit with like knowing what we want to sound like and what sounds to use, and like I don't know, our taste in music maybe changing too. That's where I said the R&B thing earlier, but like there is a lot more like we like to groove a little bit more than we like to rock now, if that makes sense. But
I know all about rocking and grooving.
Oh
so.
Man, okay. came to the right place. That's
Yes,
good.
That's what we're all about here.
But yeah, no, I think that's well, and we just put out a new song where I think that's really a sign of the direction we're taking moving forward with writing too. It's called Sugar, but it's very glossy and not reverbed. Glossy is a better term. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, and that's out on streaming services?
Yeah. Finally, it's up on Spotify. They like to give us as much trouble as they can on all things we've ever tried to upload to the internet. So it is up there now, though. So
Sweet.
yeah.
And what was that, like an official Manor Records release?
Yeah, that's kind of the deal these days. Is unless something else
de facto,
comes, they're. Manor Records really doesn't like sign bands as much as just like works with bands, and as I'm in both, it will kind of be that way unless something better comes along ever, or if Mama's Boy decides to do a release with somebody else, which we can. So, but yeah, it's not really leading up to anything either. It was kind of like just a single release. So.
Oh, yeah, tell me about when, like, Manor Records really got its start. Because, okay, so I guess maybe a little backstory that takes care of Manor Records and Manor Fest.
Mm-hmm.
You were living in what was called the Shawnee Manor a few years ago.
Yes.
And that was, like, kind of a house venue out in Shawnee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me the official Shawnee Manor story.
Well... basically, Rev Gusto, we all moved in there when we were like old enough to move out of our parents' house, and we turned it into a venue in the basement, and we were able to do some cool stuff. Like we had a few national acts come through. My favorite is Hines. That was like the coolest experience in my life, and it just became a place where like I made a lot of very close friends. I feel like, and it also like. They're friends that I'm still friends with now in the music scene, and it gave me some experiences that I think we all really enjoyed. And yeah, we just did some crazy stuff. Like we had Manor Fest 1 and 2 there, which is why this is Manor Fest 3. We did 10 bands in one night in the basement, and then we did 20 bands in 2 nights the second year. So cops never came. It's dope. So.
Oh yeah, I think it was kind of secluded enough to
it was
be good for that.
Good old Johnson County. Who would have thought? But yeah, and then we sadly had to move out due to the mice and mold festations. So that happens with a house show place. But and then I wanted to keep doing things, so I thought, what else to do it under? But what I already started kind of making a little bit of a name of with the Shawnee Manor, and I'm not Shawnee, so take away the Manor.
Yeah, what were some of the bands that played the first 2 years of the fest? Because I know you had like Arc Flash, year,
yeah,
and
you were there to shoot that night, yeah,
and I think Black Flannel too.
Black Flannel, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I wish that was still happening on the regular because I thoroughly enjoy that group.
Yeah,
I don't know. Shy Boys played last time. First year I was supposed to have Your Friend play, but that's where it was. I learned a little bit that night, and it was so late that it was just rough, and we had some PA malfunctions, so she didn't actually get to perform. But some throwbacks like Spirit is a Spirit was in there. I don't know. We've had, what's that one band? They did, I'm pretty sure Full Bloods, Psychic Heat was there a couple times. But yeah, I don't know. And then you have the ones that did like every year, and which were like the Wild Type, Scruffy, Toughies, and Dream Girl, so they're kind of like the core of people that always supported that. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I guess you could tell me about what was the first like formal Manor Records release?
I like to think of it. We did a cassette under Indigo Sun Records, which is now dissolved into Manor Records, which is who we did our cassettes through at the beginning. And since I had the Shawnee Manor, I didn't know I was going to do the record label stuff, but we put out a live cassette of Tuffy's Psychic Key and Mama's Boy in the basement, and it was really cool, and there was like 50 of them. And then I did a bunch of like practice. The first, I think, technical like thing I knew was Manor was the Liquid Courage cassette. But the first thing to actually have the logo on it was the Dead Summer Singles Mama's Boy release. So
sweet.
Yeah.
And no, yeah, I did want to. I guess I did want to kind of just have your notes on a few of the other 2 or 3 Manor Records releases. So
yeah.
There is the Live for Moxa tape that is a live split between Chloe Jacobson, Rachel Sion, and Mason Blaze that you released earlier this year.
Yeah.
No, yeah, tell me about kind of that night and how the tape came out of it.
I thought it was really cool to be able to and I just am starting to realize that like with doing a lot of like booking around town that I can use it as an avenue to raise money for causes that are in need. And so I met with Rachel Mallon back then about what we should do because I think it was around the time that there was that whole thing with the guy who's now in the Supreme Court or whatever.
Kavanaugh.
Yeah, it was around like when that whole thing was going on, and Rachel was like, "This seems super relevant for us to be able to help something," and I was like, "Perfect." And I kind of late had the idea to like, oh, we could do a cassette plus the show to try to get double the funds, and I did it at Blip Roasters, which is an awesome like space to do an acoustic show, and they were awesome hosts, but. So we live recorded it because we didn't have none of those, other than Chloe, I think, had like official recorded tracks out. I know Rachel has some demos and like stuff that she records on SoundCloud, I think. Mm-hmm. But it kind of put was like a couple birds with one stone because I was able to put out music for some really like strong artists that don't have an actual release yet. I was able to put that online, plus raise money at the event, plus raise money from sales of the cassette. So that was just a really cool thing. And that kind of opened my eyes to that we're going to regularly do things like this and do a couple throughout the year, because why not? So.
Oh, yeah. And all 3 of them are just really awesome songwriters and singers.
They're awesome. Yeah, very good. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. And, I'd mentioned one other Manor release, I feel like, when we were talking earlier, but
we did Pale Tongue.
Oh yeah, you had the Pale Tongue EP, first EP.
Yeah, I love Carlos.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I really didn't do like. Yes, I put out the cassettes, but also like working with Carlos is great because he is somebody that takes care of his end of things very well, and it was communicative. And it was my first time doing a cassette release that wasn't a band I was in. So that was we kind of went into this as an experiment together. And they did really good. And I think it's an awesome record. Like that was a band that I saw as like, okay, they've been playing around town now and are like, I enjoy their live show a lot. I was like, why don't they have anything physical out? And it just kind of opened a door. Bless you, child. But yeah, and then like I feel like once that door was kind of open when that release came out, Pale Tongue really has like hit the scene in a good way, and that's all on Carlos. You know what I mean? That's where I just was able to make it physical for him.
Yeah.
But more from them soon, I hope too.
Oh yeah.
From what I hear.
And Carlos has guested on the podcast, so if anyone wants to go check that out, it was a very fun episode.
It's entertaining.
Shaun has listened to it, and and just like. I've only seen them once or twice at this point, but like one of the times I did see them was playing with Dumb at Sister Anne's, and that was like the day after they got back from doing South by Southwest.
Right, yeah.
And like I could like they were just honed in, and like I think the EP is like 15 or 20 minutes, but like they played the whole EP and like probably shaved a few minutes off it just because they were just going at it, and it was like super fun to watch. Hopefully they just weren't like too miserable after
Yeah,
coming home, but
I think they've been hitting the road now, and that's like,
yeah.
I think that what you said though, like the road really makes you solid,
Yeah.
you know, and that we went on that run with them down to South by, and it was like they exploded down there. They played like 6 or 7 shows at South by, like once we actually got down to Austin, and they picked that up like day of.
Yeah, they told me that they were like, kind of like they wandered into some bar and they're like, oh yeah, can we play here? Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, that's awesome. So, no, props to those guys. They're good people.
Oh yeah. And so I guess this would be a good point to kind of drop as much detail on. So Manor Fest, the third edition, is happening this year. What are the dates?
Okay, it's going to be August 1st through 3rd, and that's a Thursday through Saturday. And it's going to like feature 3 different sections of Kansas City throughout. First night's in Westport, second night's in the West Bottoms, and the third night is in Crossroads.
What venues do we have?
Oh, yeah, so night 1 is the Westport, and this is on August 1st. It'll start at Mills Record Company. That'll be kind of all the first stages are going to be free in all ages, because that's where people are going to be able to pick up their pre-sale ticket and kind of do their will call for the 3-day passes that we're selling. And also we're doing like some zine stuff, so we'll have like a map for that, and that's kind of all going to be stationed at the first venue. But so it's going to start at Mills, and then we're going to go over to the Right Room patio, and then we're going to go to Mini Bar. And I guess bands for this will be going through my memory here. Got the list in my head.
You can grab your notes if you.
No, trust me. This is ingrained at this point. Okay, so it'll be Mason Blaze, Big Fat Cat, which is actually Rachel Sion's full band, and then LK Ultra at Mills, and then we will move to the Right Room, which we will have Crystal and Shady Bug from St. Louis, and then the Wild Type, and then we will end the night at Mini Bar with Prude Boys, which I believe are from Detroit, The Caves from Wichita, Mouton from Arkansas, and then Mama's Boy. And then we'll do night 2 is West Bottoms, and it's going to start at Blip Roasters. And we're going to have Face Face and Buckle Up Baby from Springfield, and then Wildcats play that stage. And then we will move over to Hickory Union Moto, which I enjoy that place.
Is it going to be out in the yard there, like kind of on that little trailer stage, or is that inside? Do you know?
I hope it's outside, but I don't know for sure yet. I think a lot of things. With the weather we're having now, I'm super rain scared. Yeah. So I'm like, inside's fine.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. But that Hickory stage is going to be Scruffy and the Janitors, the Golden Fleece, which are from Indiana, and then Drugs and Addicts and the Sluts. And then we're going to go over to a house show, which is a buddy, Ryan Lee Toms, I think, from Home and Face Face. Well, he has a cool little spot over there called Doghouse.
Okay, I know about Doghouse.
Okay, cool. That's and I thought it was really fitting to have a house show be a part of the fest. So I'm not going to tell anybody where it's at first.
In the spirit of the Shawnee Manor.
Yeah, exactly. I wish that I had my own place to do something like that at, but Ryan's opening his doors, which is awesome. We're going to have Bambies from Arkansas, Pale Tongue that we talked about, the Phlegms from Arkansas, and then Big Water play that. And then the final day is in Crossroads, and it'll be the first stage will be at Stray Cat Film Center, and it'll feature R.I. Peter, and then
which is Peter from Mama's Boy.
Yeah, and he's got some music coming out. Stay tuned for that. But and then Charlotte Bumgarner from Tulsa, and then Forest Porridge from Denver, and then oh my gosh, Chloe Jacobson.
Yeah.
I literally just met with her.
To be the one person Sean forgets.
That's
in
of
the
course.
lineup.
I love you, Chloe. And then from Stray Cat we go to Brewery Imperial, which has been awesome about this whole event. And we will have Toughies. We will have Chase the Horseman. We will have No Magic, and we will have Dylan Piles on that stage. And then we will end at, I guess not end, but then we move to Record Bar, and it will be Dream Girl with Paul Cherry and Shy Boys. And then after that, there's actually an after party at Brewery Imperial that everybody's like, we'll have a DJ set up and stuff. So DJ Strange Magic. So it's my good buddy Rob. Sorry,
that'll be
very excited.
Quite the weekend.
Yeah, it's also on my birthday. So August 3rd is my birthday. So
okay.
I'm just throwing one big party for my birthday, and
Yeah, you kind of have to throw it for yourself sometimes, you know.
I'm learning. Yeah, as you get older, people stop caring, and this is what it's become. So.
No, yeah, my first Shuttlecock show was just like, I was like, I'll do it on my birthday. And I just asked all my favorite local bands.
There you go.
That was were you at Mills at that point?
I think I was.
Yeah.
I think I remember this now that you say that.
Oh, yeah, it was Aaron Alexander, Eric Griffin, like 3 of like Bennett and Jack's punk bands.
No, I think Schwartzweather played.
And Youth Pool.
Oh, no, okay, it was that show. Okay.
Yeah.
You also are who showed me Schwartzweather. You introduced me to Pat and everybody.
Did I?
Yeah, you totally did. You booked it. I think so. I don't know. Or maybe we were both just at that show at Mills. Yeah. I just remember talking to you at, I don't know. It all meshes together after working there that long.
4 years ago.
Yeah,
time.
exactly. not very possible.
No, yeah. So what made you guys like want to take the approach of having, you know, the different like kind of venue hopping and doing a different part of town each night?
I guess I feel like I've thought about how to do this for a while, and a lot of it is I want to make each day like at least semi-walkable, because I think having to go get in a car to go to a different venue is not something I look forward to at a festival. And I think part of it too, like a lot of these places are untraditional venues, and I wanted to kind of like showcase cool parts of Kansas City that might not be fully exposed. Like Blip, for example, is one of my favorite places to go get coffee, but also they are cool enough people and like support music that they're okay with having events there every once in a while. And like Hickory Union does live music every first Friday, and which actually just kind of lines up on this one to be the same thing. But and they've been trying to like be a part of this scene, and it's like let's get that going. You know what I mean? So and then I've done a lot of work in the West Bottoms lately, and so that's kind of made that something that I wanted to kind of showcase because that's an up and coming area. But yeah, there wasn't too much thought on that, I think, other than just like keep it contract to a certain location. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what. So you say you like hopefully want to just continue to build it out over the years, and like where do you want to see the fest like a couple years down the line?
I'd like to just keep doing it first. Do it, you know what I mean? Also, like hopefully this year it goes well. But I definitely think this is something I'll try to do regularly now. I think that was always a goal of mine, but definitely bigger and not always the same. I think is something that I think I would like to try to do. Like also include bridging the gap between Lawrence and Kansas City a little bit. Like I really, really wanted to have a night in Lawrence and a night here, but I heard some complaints about like how that could lay out, and so it's almost like I don't know. And Lawrence does have some great festivals of their own, so it's like they got that, you know what I mean? But I just would like to. There's so much good music in Lawrence, and I think that bringing that to light in Kansas City and vice versa is very important. But
no, yeah, it's like sometimes the two towns need a bit of a nudge to like work on something together.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, and that's what's been nice, honestly, about working with Carlos too, is because he's kind of gotten me seeing a lot of like the dudes from Lawrence and like talking to those people, and I wish they lived 5 minutes away instead of 45 minutes away type thing. But I don't know. There's definitely like we're all here. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter which place you're at type thing. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't know. I definitely see this as like once a year, and then keep doing releases and keep doing fundraiser events, and those are my three main concerns, I think. So moving forward, at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything like with the fest that you just want people to know about, or anything we didn't really touch on with it?
I guess I should say so tickets will be available if you want to buy the 3-day pass. Tickets will be available July 1st on my website, manorrecords.com. You also will have the availability to go to each stage individually, because some stages are 18 and up, some stages are 21 and up. So it'll kind of be per
Can
the
kind
venue.
of go a la carte if you need to.
That's a good way to put that. Thank you. But yeah, so that's why. So the lineup is announced, but the tickets won't be available until the 1st of July. So, but yeah, also that will all be on the internet. So.
Oh yeah, and you guys are bringing in a bunch of sponsors for the fest. I will have some involvement.
You will have a hand in it, yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that we team up like that. You know what I mean? I think I'm trying to include a couple out-of-town sponsors that do a lot of good work for even some of our local musicians, just to kind of shine a light on them. But I'm keeping a lot of them based here. You know what I mean? I think I have officially announced that Oddities is going to be a part of it. Like Struggle Pretty is my friend Rebecca that books shows at the Rhino. You know, and it's just like people that are.
And I think Oddities. Oh, you said Oddities.
Yeah.
And,
So
Melted magazine.
Yeah, and they're from DC, and I'm actually putting together a little fundraiser for their second print issue, because she just like does all this stuff on her own and is out there like having. It's like all film, and she just like puts a lot of her heart and soul into it, and I just like notice, and I hope that like people notice that I'm trying to do the same. But it's also like if I can put on an event here to help her, then why not? And she's helping me back with doing promotion for the fest, so it's like that's kind of just the atmosphere I would like to bring to the table on all this stuff.
Just a lot of good old linking and building and
A lot of emails.
Collaborating and community and emails.
Yeah.
A lot of emails.
I don't know what I would do without the internet. It would be like mail letters to each other about this stuff.
Who has the time for that?
I don't know. But yeah, so that's, and I'm excited to have you a part of it. So that'll be cool.
I'm excited to see it happening. It's been long discussed.
Yeah, I have been talking about this for a long time, I feel like. So kind of just happy that it's happening at this point. So plus I think there's a lot of good music that people may not know about or do know about, and I hope they like it. So because I do. So
And I hate to make you play favorites, but you don't have to. But is there one or two acts that you're most excited to see at the fest?
Yeah. Well, okay. I love all the locals. You all get equal love. I'll just start that there. I'll do this with. I'm very excited that Paul Cherry's coming down from Chicago, because he is somebody I listen to a lot and like enjoys music. The Phlegms from Arkansas are one of the most badass groups I've ever seen, and Avery is probably like the strongest frontman there. I think if you have not seen them, I think you'll get along with them. And also I really like Buckle Up Baby. But that's where all these people have become my friends from like back to like the Mama's Boy stuff, going out of town to 20 or 30 cities in the last year. These are all people I'm not just bringing in as like bands I like. They're also like acquaintances that are like putting in work in their scene. Like Pete Mouton from Mouton is like out there booking tours for other bands, playing tours. Like, so that's what a lot of these bands are to me too. Is just like kind of one big family gathering, in a way. But
So if you see Shaun during any of these sets, please buy him a drink so we can have more fun and not stress out so much.
yeah, people tend to see me stress out, so I don't know if alcohol is going to help in that moment.
Yeah, don't do that then. Just get him a water.
Yeah, I probably would need a water more. No, but yeah, come hang out on my birthday. That's
Oh, yeah. Which night of the fest is
the last one.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I kind of planned it that way.
Okay.
Because I'm like, okay, that's the night I can kind of relax. Like, if I make it to night 3, it happened. So.
Yeah. And if you die in the middle of your fest, like that's a way to go out, right?
Then you can write something about it.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I know, and yeah. Oh yeah, and oh man, I meant to touch on it earlier when we were talking Manor Records stuff. I did forget.
You're good.
You had the Shorts Weather tape that you did put out too that I think people should know about.
Yeah.
And you had the release show for it recently, but I guess if you wanted to say anything about that.
Well, that was a interesting experience because that was a little bit more like personally connected than the Moxa fundraiser we did. I knew Bennett, I know the Joneses, and a lot of people I know were also very much closer than I am, and we just wanted to try to help in any way we could, and we organized it to where we did some work with Speak Up KC, so we were able to raise them some money, and we were able to give the Jones family quite a bit of amount of money because of the people were just so generous that were at that show. Everybody that was there cared, and it was just a really cool experience. But I don't have any more of those cassettes because that's the first time I've ever sold out of cassettes in one night that I got them. But that's actually an interesting thing too, because Pat Kaiser is, and that's where Manor Records is really kind of like a collective because it's ran by me and a gentleman named Taylor McHenry, who is my like cassette guy, but also it's ran by Skylar, Rochelle, Rachel Mallon. Pat Kaiser is going to take over our fundraising section because he was like personally connected with a lot of that and sees that we can keep doing things like this for not just for like the local scene, but like for just people. You know what I mean? But yeah, he was a huge help in that though.
And that tape is like what is the collection of songs that's on that?
Yeah, it was so Pat Kaiser and Josiah Hunter and Davey. I don't know your last name, Davey. I'm sorry. Used to be in a band called Shorts Weather with Bennett, and it's apparently a bunch of demos that they had tracked and like little clips and like outtakes from just like their band practice and their time as a band. And online, it has more tracks on their Bandcamp page than we were able to fit on the cassette. So if you want to listen to it, it is on Shorts Weather's Bandcamp page, just available to stream. But yeah, no, that was cool to be a part of. It was more like it feels good when events are not about Manor Records. You know what I mean? It was like cool to just be able to like allow that to be about that. You know what I mean? I don't know. That was just hopefully more stuff like that to help people in the future. So
yeah. Is there anything else we didn't touch on that you want to make note of?
I don't know. I didn't write down. I should have. I don't know. I think that's it. I'm gonna keep you busy. I'm just gonna keep rolling. After Manor Fest, hopefully we can get into some more releases. R.I. Peters cassette comes out July 5th, so that's our next like release as a label.
Mama's Boy is kind of plotting another full release.
Hopefully, that's definitely like the plan as a group. But our drummer's welcoming in a little boy to his life here in the next month, which we're ecstatic about, and we're gonna let him get settled first before we make any moves on that. But yeah, and yeah, and I just thank you.
Oh yeah,
I enjoy this.
Oh, of course. Right, and people can follow at Shuttlecock Mag on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check out shuttlecockmusic.com for the articles and everything. Shuttlecockmag.bigcartel.com for all of the merch. Got t-shirts, photo zines, and buttons. Look out for the shows we have booked coming up. We have Jackal from Florida, hardcore punk, on June 4th at the Middle East. with Prude and Tremenda Venganza. We also have Tim Buchanan from OKC, formerly I'm not sure, of Cherry Death, playing with Chloe Jacobson and Kaleidoscope.
Oh, hell yeah.
At June 16th at the Snake Tank. And we have on June 22nd, Creeping Death with Fuming Mouth, Hammerhead, and Tremenda Venganza at Sister Anne's. A cool hardcore and death metal show. And some other shows to be announced soon. Where can people find Manor Records and Manor Fest information on the internet?
Definitely the main source of information. I'm going to try to make it is the website, manorrecords.com. But we have all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook to keep you updated. There's an event already posted for the festival, so if you want any like direct updates, that might be a good place to go. But yeah, or you can, Facebook message me, I guess, if you have a question. Mm-hmm. That's I guess an option. So
and find Mama's Boy on streaming services.
We're up there, and it's MOMMA. Just for anybody that looks us up, it's not MAMA.
Easily confused.
I've learned to say that. Chris Hungarian was like, you have to spell it out because that's a weird way to spell Mama, and I was like, I don't think it's a weird way to spell Mama. So
I think it's weird.
But now I do it every time because he does it, and I'm like, damn it, he's right. But no, that's basically what's going on.
Sure.
So,
well, I'm excited for the fest, and I think it'll just be a grand old time.
Grand old time, yes.
But yeah, thanks for being on the show today.
Appreciate you. Cool.